Hello, welcome to the Irene Podcast. Today we're going to talk about something that many of us were never taught. You do not have to explain yourself to be worthy of respect. I'm Hope. I'm one of the co-founders of Irene gpt.ai, and the purpose of this app is to help you to communicate better with the people around you that you still need to communicate with, even if it's been difficult in the past. If you've been in a toxic relationship, if you've been with somebody who has been abusive with their language towards you or physically abusive even, we want to help you get to a place of peace and happiness and learn how to communicate better with that person who maybe doesn't quite know how to communicate well themselves. You can take back your power on your side of the communication with Irene. So today we're going to talk about not having to explain yourself. You don't always have to explain yourself for your words to hold weight and to have value. You can speak the truth and let it be. It does not matter if someone understands you. What matters is that you're clear with your voice and that you speak up for yourself. So sometimes when we're in a relationship and we're with somebody who's abusive, they don't value our words. That does not take the value away from our words. But when somebody doesn't value your words or they're always trying to manipulate or twist what you say, some of us tend to start explaining ourselves so that we're understood. But sometimes when we explain ourselves to somebody who's like that, they don't care to understand us. That doesn't mean that our value changes. Sometimes when we're with somebody like that, that language is on purpose to make us feel diminished, to make us feel like our words don't hold value, to make us feel unworthy. That doesn't make us unworthy, though. Just because somebody is pushing in that direction does not change our worth and our value. It does not change the strength that and power that your voice can have. It doesn't change any of that. It just is abuse. It just hurts. And sometimes if we over-explain to the wrong person, then they turn around and use that against us because they can see that we're maybe struggling with being heard or struggling. They can see that maybe we're struggling with being heard or struggling with speaking the truth from our own voice, from our own mouth. Just like we don't need to explain ourselves, sometimes we actually shut down because when we have explained ourselves, it turns into a bigger thing. So it's okay to be quiet. It's okay to say the truth and then be quiet and peaceful and let it land where it lands. We don't get to control the outcome from somebody else, somebody's response, but we do get to control how much we contribute to that conversation. And sometimes just saying, okay, next time I'll do X, Y, and Z instead of explaining ourselves can put a complete halt to the conversation. That doesn't mean we're giving in to the conversation. It just means we're not continuing to go round and round in circles with somebody who may be abusive to us. I remember hearing a story about a woman who went and bought groceries, and the bread she brought home was the bread she always brought home. But for some reason that day, it was a fight. It was like, why didn't you get sourdough? We always get sourdough. In her head, she's thinking, I have never bought sourdough before. But now it's a fight, and family's around. Her family's there. And so she doesn't want to get in a fight in front of her family. That's embarrassing. So she just stops right there and doesn't continue because anything else is going to further the fight. It's okay to preserve your peace by being quiet, but it's also okay to speak your truth no matter what. Healthy communication includes curiosity and respect. So I've been married to my husband now for 25 years, and our communication has just gotten better over the years. It hasn't always been perfect. We've both struggled here and there. But the one thing that I've noticed is that when we hear the other's words and we ask more questions, not attacking, but just clarifying the situation, we communicate better. So when you're communicating in a healthy way, there's give and take, and you're trying to understand each other. Manipulative or unsafe communication demands justification. When you repeatedly explain yourself, it doesn't create clarity, it creates exhaustion. A lot of that is because if you're not in a conversation with somebody who's willing to hear and listen to you truly, it's going to fall on deaf ears. So all of that explaining will get nowhere. This is where you can use Irene. You can put a conversation into Irene. Let's say you just remember your conversation. You want to put the back and forth. Plug it into Irene and she will tell you, this is how you should respond in this situation. Because sometimes when we've been in abuse long enough, we forget how to communicate in a healthy way. So Irene will help you relearn how to communicate in a way that you're heard and that you're respected with your words. Now, if that's not possible with the person you're communicating, you can still hold on to your communication being in a healthy way, even if the other person doesn't reciprocate. We want to change you. We want to help you to become better, be a better communicator, be a better partner, and be a better person overall. We want to help you step back into that clarity, that understanding, that worth, that value that you have. Irene helps you craft communication that is calm, clear, and contained. So the challenge this week is to choose one moment to respond without explaining, and then notice how your body feels in that moment. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel unheard. You might feel all of these things, but just sit with it and let it be. That's how we can find peace, is to speak calmly, clearly, and that's how we find peace, is to speak calmly, clearly, and confidently, and let it be. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless.